I'm back. Hello again, Mr. Poots. I have to get back to you because something's come up. We found it in the Telegraph. There's a report in the Telegraph that Jacqui Smith admits that cannabis reclassification was wrong. I'll read what the newspaper said. Jacqui Smith has admitted that her decision to upgrade cannabis to a Class B drug when she was Home Secretary was wrong, and that education would have been a better option than criminalisation. Mrs. Smith said she was less hardline now, and she conceded that legislation had caused confusion and dissent. She told Radio Times, "Knowing what I know now, I would resist the temptation to resort to the law to tackle the harms from cannabis." She described legislation as a blind alley that prompted discussion of the law rather than the impact of the drugs themselves, and she acknowledged that some people can use cannabis without causing harm. And she's admitted that she defied advice from the government's panel of scientific experts to change the law in 2008, despite evidence that it would not deter millions of people from using the drug. So here we have the situation that the penalties for people's activities with cannabis were made more severe by the Home Secretary unjustly. Now, Mr. Poots, the problem is that this has resulted in less favourable treatment towards cannabis users than is warranted by the harms that these people do through their use of cannabis. And you have admitted to me in your letter that this is happening because it's a historical and cultural tradition. So we have the situation, Mr. Poots, in effect, that it's a historical and cultural tradition to treat people who use cannabis less favourably, because it's a historical and cultural tradition. But Mr. Poots, I have to remind you of something. In 1998, we went in our hundreds of thousands to the polling stations, not to vote in new representatives at council level or parliamentary level. We went to the polling stations to vote on whether or not we approved of the Northern Ireland Agreement, the Belfast Agreement, 1998. Now, as you know, the majority of people in Northern Ireland voted yes to that agreement. We voted yes because it promised us protection of our human rights. Well, it's not happening, is it, Mr. Poots? The less favourable treatment is not only continuing, it's getting worse. At maybe there's hope coming from the one place that it needs to come from. You. Because by what words are coming out of your mouth, Mr. Boots, you've seen the light. You've realised that you need to transform our care. Your care for us. How long is it going to take, Mr. Boots? 14 years since we went to the polling stations. It's time we had equality and an end to discrimination against people in Northern Ireland. And of all the people in Northern Ireland, you, above all, have the power to protect us from unfair discrimination. The power rests with you. The ball is in your court, and it's time you played ball with us. And that's all I'm going to say for the moment. But rest assured, I will be back. Bye for now.